We're rolling. We're rolling.
Hi, welcome to Sauce for Us. I'm Danielle.
Oh yeah, I'm Nikki.
I'm Amy.
And we have a guest.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Dylan.
Dylan, tell the audience what you do.
Oh, okay. I'm Dylan, and I'm a stand-up comedian from Victoria,
British Columbia, Canada.
British Columbia, Canada. Yes, Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And I've actually wanted to be on this podcast for a long time, so I'm quite tickled
Aw,
to be here.
we're tickled to have you.
We are.
It's a weird saying. Where'd that come
Very
from?
tickled
Tickled?
to have you here.
I'm tickled. Is it because you're like laughing?
I think. I guess I'm just gonna jump right into it. I quit drinking maybe 3 months, a little over 3 months ago now. And
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, but now the side effect is I'm a total fucking dork now. Like things will come out of my mouth.
And you think it's a direct result of the alcohol?
I think so. I think everything's a little too nice and happy and sweet.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. I used to have a really, really nice malaise.
That's how I feel right now. I feel like you're targeting me right now since I'm hungover. You're like, actually, I haven't drank in 3 months and I've never felt better. I'm the best. I'm the best version of myself. I'm over here like dying.
Yeah, best version. I don't know if I can sign off on that for myself. Yeah, it's some sort of version. Definitely healthier.
But
Yeah.
is there an actual
Correlation
between your happiness and the going off the drink?
And not drinking a depressant? Do you think there's a correlation?
No, but I just mean have you actually noticed I'm so much happier?
Major difference, yeah. Because it's I was extremely, extremely proud of being very misanthropic and it was like my little thing, just being super sad and self-destructive. And so, but now even my own mom tries to get off the phone with me now because I'm too positive. I swear to God, she does it. We had
Shut up, Dylan.
She'll deny it, but she starts to be like, "Are you trying to get off the phone?" Because
What does she do?
because she, I think I don't know. She just starts, that tone when someone's tone shifts into okay,
Yeah.
so good talking to her. I was like, no, we're still talking about the neat things that I'm experiencing. Okay, so you're not getting away that easy.
I always
Literally
wonder.
no one else will talk to me, so you're gonna talk to me. No, I'm just joking. That's not. But I do have these wholesome events now that I want to go do. I want to go do bonfires and do these various things, and people are not into it. People want to drink and do drugs.
Yeah.
So-
they
You
do.
can drink and do drugs at a bonfire?
Totally, and I encourage them to, but
And they don't want to. They just don't want to be around
they
you.
just don't want to be around me. I think because I'm just you guys, look at this day. Is this not the most beautiful day? Yeah, it's a lot.
I get what you mean though, with the positivity when you give up drink. I started to see things that I never saw, and I was like, wow, the clouds are amazing, the leaves are nice.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are really victimizing Nikki right now.
Truly. The most hungover person in the world.
Well, you do start to see stuff though.
Yeah. This isn't about you, Nikki.
Okay,
This is about
wait.
us and our positivity.
Wait, listen to me. When does the positivity start happening? Because I've done a month of no drinking and I still felt sad.
Didn't happen after that. It was 3 or 4 months for
Well,
me.
that's why I was
it's just starting
curious
for
because
him.
3 months I was like, oh, is that it happens so quickly?
Well, no, it actually I do agree with that would be the typical progression. I think I've heard that. You get a little pop right at the beginning, right? It's referred to as I think the pink cloud, where
Because
you're kind of
you're also doing you're setting a goal for yourself and you're achieving it, and there's dopamine that's created just from that.
Totally, but what's been the most major effect for me is part of what I was using alcohol to medicate is I have severe OCD, and it's something that it surrounds checking things, so it takes me easy an hour to leave my house once I'm ready, because I go back in, back out, back in, back out, up from the parking lot, sit in the parking lot, be don't fucking go up, right? And so I got on meds for it years ago, but was still just aggressively drinking, and so they just they never took effect. And so when I stopped drinking, because I've never stopped drinking ever, I've always had drank since I was 13, just straight, and I just all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, my meds are working, and I can like so that's why
that's life changing.
yeah, it's been crazy. So I like, and now
God, what a beautiful thing.
it's pretty cool. So now
Yeah.
I've got a little momentum with it where I'm kind of like, okay, this feels good, and so I don't
Yeah.
really have too much temptation.
Is this a like a plan to never drink again?
No,
Or-
I think like I don't really like that kind of thing. Like I'm not like some sort of like AA weirdo. I don't like go to meetings. All I do is like box 3 times a day. Cook all my meat over open flame. I'm not like some kind of fucking weirdo. Okay, I just deal with it normally.
Do you do cold plunging?
No, not
Great
yet.
question.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You seem
Not
like you
yet.
would.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't like cold water. Do you guys like? I have like an aversion, like a crazy aversion. To
I
cold
love
water.
a cold plunge.
Hate it.
Oh,
I will-
I'll take you. I have 10 credits.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love it. I
10
do feel
credits for
so
what?
tired
Cold
after,
plunge.
though.
Just specifically a
At
cold
Tality, yeah.
Oh, that place is great. That place is great.
Well, I have 10
that
credits.
place is great. I'll be there.
And I can bring my, but it's only for people who drink.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Fair.
Good
No,
for you.
Have you guys ever done a sensory deprivation tank?
Yeah.
Like the
No,
The
that
float
sounds
tank.
Oh, the
terrible.
float tank. I've
Float.
heard that's good.
I did. It was cool.
I actually one time I tried to quit drinking for a couple days, and someone got me like a float pass, right? And
Were those connected?
like they thought they were like, oh, like maybe just like go chill out in
Oh,
the
that's
float tank.
nice.
Right? Yeah, it was a nice gesture. But then like I don't know, like I was just cold and sad for 45 minutes. It was like just just cold enough that it's uncomfortable, but you can't quite like get there, and you just keep getting salt water in your eyes, and
Were you moving a lot?
I just don't understand
'Cause
how
when
somebody
you
can
fly
just
there-
sit.
Yeah.
Just lie down
Was
with
the-
your thoughts. It was a terrible idea.
Is the water cold?
It's a little cold
Oh, I thought it was warm.
for like a sweet
Where
little
did you
little
go?
guy like me. It's pretty.
He just went to
a bucket.
this cave in like the ocean.
Yeah, I just met this guy on Craigslist, and he was just like, I had
had a
to
big
like, I had to
bathtub.
like spit on him after, which was so weird.
But I guess it's all a part of the experience.
Yeah. He said everybody spits, is what he said.
That's actually what I have 10 credits to. I hope that's
That's perfect.
Okay.
That sounds
Yeah,
good
no,
to
that's
me.
good. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Actually. So you have the OCD that most people think other people have.
Yes, exactly. I have the type. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people. I definitely don't have like the hand washing or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, I have like a normal level of hygiene, I would say.
Right.
Like a totally normal. Clinically normal.
For a totally normal guy.
Super normal, dude. No, but I do have the like. I don't have the type where everything has its little place in my house. Well, it does. I do that to try to help myself, but I
Right.
don't. I wouldn't like if someone moved it. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But it's just it surrounds. So if somebody were to ask me to take care of their cat. Might as well. I'll do it. I'll say yes because I have no confidence. But it's a nightmare because I have to go into somebody else's space, and I view it as contamination. So when I go into a space,
Yeah.
I've contaminated that space unless there are others. So right now I'm chill. I have no concerns about being here. But if you all left and you said, "Can you lock up after?" I'm
Wow.
Say
Because-
more. Contamination.
Contamination. So like what it is the way I guess they're intrusive thoughts ultimately is what it is, or magical thinking is another way of putting it.
Oh, I like
but
that.
Yeah, so like basically if I go into a room and then I leave and there's like a stove or a hair dryer or a straightener, anything like that, I feel like I could have gone insane for a second and turned the stove on and forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
So there's no logic that can save me. The only thing that can save me is when I get my friends to check it for me.
Right.
And of course, that comes at a cost to them. Right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can't be like that's not a long-term solution.
Do you get it that like other people are contaminated and so
No.
you can't be around them?
No.
Okay.
Like when I enter a space, I believe that I will fuck that space up in some way, and then I'll be in trouble. So
Okay.
like if
Okay.
somebody's like, "Oh, can you take care of the cat?" I'm gonna let the cat out. The cat's gonna
Right.
escape. The cat's gonna die. It's gonna ruin their life, and I'll be culpable.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's mainly around other people's stuff. So I think if I was a homeowner, I'd be less concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, I don't care about me.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get in trouble. That's the
Right.
goal. Never get in
In
trouble.
trouble. That's actually your worst nightmare has happened to me because I one time left the stove on accidentally. My roommate didn't talk to me for 3 months.
Sorry,
And
3
we
months.
lived together.
Wait, because she was upset?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
She just
That's
had a lot of
insane.
anxiety around obviously like the house burning down, which is a fair anxiety to have.
Sure.
But she was just really
not
upset.
talking to you for 3 months.
Like it's
Yeah.
fair to be upset with you.
Yeah.
But like for 3 months?
Yeah.
God, if my housemates didn't talk to me every time I did something like that,
Right?
they'd never talk to
That's
me.
what I'm
What?
saying. I was like,
One time I left a candle on and then I left and I was in a panic. But then Fiona came and blew it out for me.
oh, that's nice. So your friends go to your house for you?
No, but if they're with me, I'm like,
Oh.
great, thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody's with me, okay, and then of course there's like modifiers to the anxiety surrounding it. So like if I'm going to a show, like it takes 3 hours like to leave. I'll be
Right.
ready at 6. Showtime is 9. And I'm like, all right, let's get ready to go in and out of my house for 3 hours. It's horrible. And so, and like, it's so normalized to me. I've been doing it since I was like 6 years old. And like, so when someone else is there and I'm on the way to something stressful, whatever it may be, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I leave the apartment. They just do it.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
but it's nice for sure. But then you can start to like infect people with it. I've noticed that like when I've like lived with people before that like start to get a little funny about it too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's
So what, they think that it's also on?
well, they just get a little anxious about it.
I think anxiety is contagious. Like if
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
around you is really anxious, it can
Totally.
you can
Yeah.
pick up on that.
Wow.
But long story long, the meds are absolutely helping. Like,
Oh my God.
like, so much to the point where like basically what it is I'm still hampered by it aggressively, and it also hampers me socially a lot. But now I have a choice, is the way I would put it.
Right.
So I have these like compulsions that I used to do, and I still do them all the time. But I at least have like there is another voice that's being like, this is probably dumb to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And which is the louder voice?
They're like super equal
Okay.
right now, which is like manageable.
Before
Okay.
was the other one way louder?
There was only one.
Oh,
There was
one.
only like there was no option. It was just, of course you must go up to check that the door is locked again,
Nice.
because if you don't, like it's vague too what it's even related to, what would happen. But now I leave my door unlocked.
Oh.
Don't
Yeah.
tell people that.
It's okay. No, it's okay. There's small. The building has really that partially because the building has like really good security. There's like
Oh,
3
okay.
doors to get in, and then there's security on the elevator too.
Okay, nice.
So
Gotcha.
I just like that feeling of just like busting into the house when you have hands full.
Yeah.
And I'm just
That's
like I'm
nice.
like living dangerously. I'm like that's how I party now. I leave the door.
So how have you found though, like in terms of your social life, are you doing different things?
Doing different
Like
things.
events wise, I mean.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like I've started like, which I think is probably pretty typical. I started like just doing a lot of outdoor stuff. So like a lot of like I'm been cooking forever, and I'm really into cooking.
Oh yeah,
So-
you had a whole series.
I was trying to make that go. It didn't go.
I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not like done with doing that, but I'm doing a lot of cooking outside now, like cooking on fire and stuff. And
Oh, so you are cooking meat over.
I'm not joking. and I do box twice a day.
Where
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not
A,
joking.
where are you finding the time to box twice a day? And B, where is the open flame?
What's a fire? There's lots of nice beaches you can do little beach fires on, and so like I'll bring that, and then like I'm just trying to like. And I'll like bring people out to like do like cookouts for them and stuff. And
That's actually-
You're one step away from starting a cult.
yeah,
Truly.
pretty
So
much.
are you actually cooking all of your meat
No,
on
not
an open
all.
flame?
No, that was a joke.
Okay, that
but
was
I
a
do
joke.
like I do a lot of like basically it's like I'm really hyperactive. I separated those words.
Okay. Hyperactive.
I'm like,
Hyper
it's
and
almost like
active.
I have like hyperactivity.
You ever heard of that?
Yeah, you remember that? I think I just came up with it. No, the way I have time is like I wake up early. I go before work and then to the gym,
okay.
and then I go after work immediately, and then to the beach to cook over.
Yeah.
And it's busy. At the end of the day, I'm fucking exhausted. I go to bed at midnight.
bet.
I've like lived 1,000 lives
Yeah.
every single day.
Seriously.
That's
There's-
amazing.
there's
It sounds
so
like a
much.
good life.
It's good. It is good. I'm just like, I know it can't last this way. I know I'm like, definitely,
Why not?
Well, I think it's just like, I think I'm doing something to stop doing something. Like I think
What you mean?
keeping busy so the devil can't find me kind of thing.
Right.
Running away from something.
Yeah,
Okay,
like where
okay,
it's
okay,
just where like it's not like mega peaceful because I never just sit down and chill.
Right.
It's always like boom, boom, boom. Everything has to have like 3 different ways it's making me money or something, or like just everything has to be like productivity constant,
Right.
constant.
Do you journal?
No, I should probably.
It's like, I know it's so simple and I know it's so cliche, but it is something that helps me so much to
Yeah.
unfurl the gremlins in my brain.
I also was I saw this thing the other day where they said their mom had passed away recently, and she was saying how she has all these like photos and videos of her mom like in the last few months that they spent together, and she's like, but then I also journaled a bunch and I was reading through it, and like photos and videos will remind you of things that happened, but nothing will ever remind you of how you were feeling in that moment. And she would write down things that her mom would say to her. And she's like, I forgot all of these things. And that made me be like, I gotta start journaling.
Yeah, that's really
again.
special.
Yeah. Because it's true. You don't have a record of your feelings ever.
That's true, yeah.
Yes.
And when you read them back, oh my God, sometimes if I find an old journal and I'll read it and I was like, oh my God, she was so sad.
Yeah.
Like really, really sad. It was like, oh no. But it's just very good for, kind of getting the thoughts out and figuring them out.
I have a hard time writing anything down, which is so when I have a really poor memory from years of aggressive drug use. So I don't have like, I can't, if I like have a thought, whether it's like for a bit or like just something I have to do that day or whatever, I write it down immediately on a Post-it note. So there's like a million Post-it notes everywhere in my life. But I can't, I hate actually writing. And so they're just like little scribbles. No one can read them except me. And they're just like, that's kind of how my life is run with these.
Wait, like physically writing, you don't like it?
I just don't like it. I just like, I want to like finish the word faster than my hand actually can. So it just becomes like a scribble.
Do you
and
like
I just like
typing?
No, I hate it all. Hate it all. I don't write. I don't have a single joke written down.
How? Wow. What?
Not one.
That's
How do you?
Wow.
So when you go on stage to tell a joke for the first time, it's just existing in your head. You haven't written it out.
I only write in my head, so I don't do any. What I will do, I'll make a set list with like keywords to cue me, right? But they're just one word each. It might be like 5 words on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to write it down. I've never actually sat and, which I think it's pretty common, but I don't sit and write, and it's just like just something bad happens to me and I'm like, that's gonna be funny in a week. Right now it hurts a lot. But it's gonna be funny, and then I'll say it a couple times and see if it is a bop.
Oh shit. I would get scared that I would eventually start forgetting my old jokes, like the ones I stopped performing.
Yes, so I do keep lists of keywords, but I don't have, and eventually certain jokes that I tell become the same every time eventually. But for a long time there's variations, which is not advisable at all. You should watch your tape, you should find out what works, you should refine, but I don't know.
Something I find helps as well is talking out loud to myself, and like also not sending voice notes to I did sending voice notes to myself, because I do it like in the when you message yourself and then voice note myself, and like just thinking through things that is going on in my life, and I feel like that helps a lot.
Hell yeah. I see sometimes before a show I'll see people like scribbling in their notebooks, and I'm just like, I just have to like sit there in my head just like, I'm gonna fucking bomb. I don't even have a notebook as a prop right now. I'm gonna fucking bomb.
I feel the same way. I always see the two of you writing away, and I'm like, wow, what do they got in there?
Yeah, what do you got in there? What's in there?
Sometimes I'm just writing my set list over and over and over.
Sometimes
and over.
I just don't I don't enjoy talking to people before I get on stage.
I'm so sorry.
I always say it to you when you start talking to me.
You?
I go, I need to focus right now.
Yeah, that's true. You do say that.
I just need to watch. I need to watch the last comic before me, so I can feel like I'm part of what's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will not be present when I'm on stage. So sometimes I'll use the notebook as a way to indicate that I don't want to talk to anyone.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
like
do that too.
Yeah. That's real.
It's
Yeah.
like the headphones of the comedy community.
Yeah,
you know?
but people don't respect it.
No.
People do not respect
Sometimes
it. It's
people
so
follow
annoying.
you.
Yeah.
When you've actively walked
Who's
away from them.
following you?
A guy in Barcelona.
Oh,
I moved out of the green room, went upstairs into a corner, and then he came, sat down, and he had already just like monologued at me, came down and just like monologued at me again about his set.
Oh,
and
God.
and I was sitting there and I just said nothing. And I was like, I should have just been like, leave me alone. I need to get better at telling people.
It's
to leave me alone.
hard though, especially in a comedy context.
Yeah.
Because they're like coworkers, kind of.
One
Also-
thing about go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm also just trying to shake the people pleasing of like
Yeah.
listening to people's crap, even though all I'm thinking about is how do I get out of this conversation?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that they can't see it because I do think my eyes just like glaze over. But I was gonna say if I know something is going to make me a better performer, I feel so comfortable doing it. Like that's the only motivation that I have to do most things in my life.
What do you mean by that? When you if something
Like
something
if
to make you
something
better?
is going wrong in my life, I won't be motivated to change it unless I figure out that it's affecting me as a stand-up.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Stand-up is the only area of my life where I'm able to have mature thoughts.
Right.
It's the
Wow.
only area of my life where I'm able to say it's good now, enjoy it now.
Yeah.
Now is good.
Right.
We're living in the coolest time. We get to do this. We get to hang out with our friends. It's like we're in high school. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that way about anything else.
Right.
Comedy gets 100% of me. It gets all of my any maturity, any good vibes, any positive self-talk. It all goes to comedy. Everything else is just a wasteland. Like I don't know about you guys, but if somebody texts me, it ruins my whole fucking day.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I hate
Delicious.
texting.
I hate it.
I
So
hate it so much.
what I do is same with emails. I do this tag. I clear immediately. So if I am about to sit down and do something, watch a movie, well, actually, usually what I'm sitting down and doing is looking at reels on my phone, and so I don't want to stop doing that to talk to somebody. And so
Right.
it's like every time. And so what I do is I try and clear it. I try and be like, I'll go like extra nice. Lots of emojis, and then just try and start doing what my mom does to me on the phone. Like just
Yeah.
start saying like, "Oh, I'm going to hit the old dusty trail," right? But sometimes people are just like they keep going, and I'm just like, oh my god. So as soon as someone texts me, because I'm an immediate responder, people freak out if I don't. And like within not freak out, but like they think I'm dead. I've had that all the time. And
Not freak out. They just think I've perished away forever.
They think I've perished, right?
Yeah.
I which is fair because I used to be like I have a horrible cocaine addiction, and so there would be times where people would definitely think I was dead,
Right.
And so, but now I'm in this zone where if I don't reply to someone right away, I'm gonna have to have a larger conversation at some point
Right.
about what I was doing or why I didn't reply. So I
What
just
a prison. What a prison you're in.
Yeah.
oh gosh, I hate the
You gotta
texting.
delete social media.
Well, I bought a flip phone, and
Smart.
I'm
Love it.
trying to
No,
like.
a flip phone. Not a smartphone.
Got him.
Whoa!
Got him.
you just got dunked on.
I'll excuse myself.
No, I think that's the way. I think just like telling people that I cannot do it.
Yeah.
Because I want people I like a phone call. I prefer a phone call, which I know is maybe not the usual.
I like a phone call too, or a voice note.
Yeah,
when
just-
my phone rings, I panic and I rarely answer it.
Throw it across the room.
I prefer the phone call because I know I can wrap it all up with that call.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
there'll be no more fucking
point.
testing.
Yeah. And
True.
And it's fun. I like a call. I like hearing my friends. But you do always sound shocked when I call you.
Hello?
Well,
Every
Why
time.
is someone calling me? I always think if someone's dead when my mom calls me.
well, I sometimes see memes. This is actually a meme where it's like, "Oh, can I call you just real quick?" And then the person is like it'll be easier than texting.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
that person
Yeah,
that says
yeah,
that. I'm
me
always like,
too.
"Oh, okay. I guess I'm the boomer in this situation." But
I
it
love
just
a voice note, but then I'm forget, and then it could be sometimes it's like 3 months, and I'll respond to a voice note. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm that way too. Like I also hate texting, but then I just don't do it. Like I don't respond to people for weeks and
Yeah.
weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
because it's an OCD thing, the not missing an email, never missing a text, right? They don't want, and so, but the problem with that is it is a prison because I never do it. So if I do ignore a text, it means I'm like mad. And I don't, so my machinations are so obvious because of the system that I set up, where if I don't reply right away, they're like, oh, Dylan's mad.
Upset.
Dylan's mad at me.
He's either dead or mad.
And they're correct.
Oh my God.
They are correct. I'm angry.
Do you have a hard time telling people that you're mad at them then?
Sometimes. It depends. I'm having an easier time now. But I do have a hard time. I have a hard time telling people that I really like that I'm mad at them or something they did upset me. But I actually told a friend recently that something they did upset me, and then they reacted really defensively. And then 10 seconds later, they came and grabbed me and apologized in like a really nice way.
Good.
And then like some tension between us was released.
Right.
Like more tension than just that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the case when you have a good conversation like that with a friend. It feels like it heals more than just that fight.
Yeah. And so that I'm experimenting with it, but it's pretty scary because
it is scary.
I just don't want to I don't want to not have friends.
I know.
But you have your mom.
I swear
got
to God.
Carrie.
Oh my gosh. Well, she's not going to be listening to this because I tell you what, the last time my mom listened to a podcast that I was on, I told that story about doing the mushrooms and getting arrested, and I just lost my mind and sent her the podcast because it was years ago, and I was excited to be on a podcast, and I was just like, you got to see this. It's like a real podcast, and I'm on it. And it was like an hour long, and I just didn't remember telling the story. Right.
Oh, man.
And so she and my dad's a reverend, my mom's a nurse, like they did not know about this like at all, right? And so she calls me and she's like, Dylan, is that story true? And I was like, what story? And I was alone, and I went beet red, by myself. Like no one was even around. And I went red, and I was like, oh my God. And I just said, like, I'm so sorry. You were, it is true. It was 11 years ago, it was a long time ago. But it did happen. And she was just like, why would you send that to me? And I was like, I forgot. And she was like, it's because you did too many magic mushrooms. And I was like, she dunked on me so hard. But no, she does.
All those mushrooms.
And I love how she said magic mushrooms. And you did all those magic.
Just so you didn't think it was like a portobello mushroom or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. What is that story?
Say again?
What is that?
It's on his comedy album.
It's on the album. I super abbreviated.
Go listen to it. What's
your comedy album called?
Evil Dylan Williams.
And it's very.
Where can you find it?
Message you about this?
No.
Oh, I listen. I go on comedy walks.
Yeah.
This is the thing I do. I go on comedy walks and I listen to a whole comedy album and then I come home.
Oh, that's nice.
It's the best thing ever.
Fun.
I love it. Anyway, I did a comedy walk with your album a couple months ago. Loved it.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank
It's
you.
so good. Oh, and then I texted Max Bank Jaffe about it. I didn't text you.
Well,
Hey, Max,
Love Dylan's album.
he is my ward, and he let me know, so that's okay. Yeah,
It's a great album.
Where can you find the album to listen to?
It's on Spotify and on YouTube.
Nice.
I recommend watching, but it works as a listen for sure.
Right.
And I thank you. Yeah, for the shout out. I think I didn't even expect anybody to watch it. And it is a little annoying because I think I fumbled on the promo on it because in the first day it did 10,000 views.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, oh shit, is something like happening here, right? And I kind of like panicked. And I started having people, I had this really, nothing like that had ever happened to me before. Like I had one video go viral, and that was also a weird feeling where there's like strangers like looking at your page. It's weird, and like going back posts and like comment, and I'm like, I just felt really weird and exposed. And so same with this, it starts like popping off. I did one good promo video that also kind of like had good views. But I think there's a way when something's starting to go viral that you can help it along. Like I think there's things that
And what is that thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I know that there's stuff. Like a good example is like I didn't even reply to a comment for the first like week because I was like, oh yeah, I guess you gotta do like there's so like I just have no experience with that kind of stuff. And when I do anything, I'm never expecting it to work, and so I don't think of it working. But but so it's at like 20,000 views now. The other 10 took 3 months, but it's just got really, really positive reception, which is great.
Amazing.
I'm very, very pleased. I'm recording another one on Valentine's Day.
Oh yes,
That's so soon after you release.
Well, I have been defending this all over town. So basically, I released in September. this will not be released until August.
Okay.
So it'll be a year apart. I filmed last March, and I'm filming in February. So it's all a year apart.
Okay.
Everything's spaced a year apart. I'm trying to do, well, not trying, I am doing one every year.
Wow.
Wow, that's incredible.
Partially because it's the only way I can continue with this, because it's just been so aimless till this point where I'm
Right.
like, what am I even
That makes
fucking doing?
sense.
But now it's
Yeah.
like the whole time I'm like, okay, just building the hour, build the hour. And that has provided me a lot more focus, and it's also allowed me to do way less shows. And that's what I want.
Wait, what do you mean?
I hate doing comedy.
I
hate
remember
it.
the first
Yeah,
time I met you,
yeah.
you were telling me about that.
I hate it. I love how it feels when I'm up there, but everything surrounding that moment, before and after, is pure fucking agony for
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
And I get so anxious. I'm so low confidence as a human being. So it
Yeah.
just like, it doesn't, no matter what data I have
Right.
to suggest otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Relatable.
Yeah. So it's, yeah.
But so how does that help you do less comedy?
Well, going towards this goal, because my goal used to just be, your success will be based on how busy you are. Your success will be based on how sort of popular you are, whatever it may be. But it was based on like frequency as opposed to quality.
Right.
And so, because I just realized, I was standing at the brewery show, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, like just like there, or maybe there's, I don't know, there's like so many brewery shows on the island,
Yeah.
and they're just all the same. They all have the same fucking stools and the same like, and just the same like, we're not your
problem
mom
is
and
the
dad's
stool.
brewery.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have like a dead frog pilsner, and it's like, yeah, no, like the bitchin' beer special. It's like, yeah, they're just all the same. Anyways, and they're $50. You get paid $50. You get a couple beers.
I was like,
maybe
Dead frog pills.
maybe
Maybe
they-
expensive.
What?
maybe they order you pizza or something, and you're just kind of there, and you just kind of go and you eat kind
It's
of.
better
That
than
sounds
most
great.
of us.
That sounds so good.
Yeah,
Sounds
sorry,
pretty
we
good,
are a
actually.
little spoiled.
Maybe you get like $300, $400 for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You get a
exactly.
free meal.
You get your
Listen.
dinner, you get pints. This sounds awful. This sounds
You get
really
to do the
bad.
thing you love most in the
You
world.
get to follow your dream, hang out with your friends, eat good food, drink nice
You guys
beer.
must get how terrible it is,
Yeah,
right?
you get it. The stools. It's the
Oh,
stools.
the stools are the same.
Get some variety in your stools. Would it kill you?
Get an
on the
alive
back.
frog
My
pilsner.
back is sore while I eat
So-
my meal.
It's so unreasonable. Okay, so
Sorry, continue.
So no, but you guys are completely right.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't really. I used to come over here to do shows all the time, and I would stay at the Canby Hostel.
I like the way you said time, man.
all the time.
All the time.
And I loved it, and I was like, and it was part of that thing of like frequency, like, oh, I'm going to Vancouver to do shows, so that means I'm like better at comedy than people that aren't going to Vancouver to do shows, and like just
Right.
like boom, boom, boom,
Right.
and then I would just have. I mean, yeah, you guys, it's pretty tough. Like, it's not quite so cushy. I will
No.
say,
No.
I've had some good shows here. I've had some good times here. I've met the number one thing about doing shows here that I love is all the people that I meet.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
great. But some of the shows are tough. Like,
Yeah.
we are spoiled. There's a couple, like, we obviously have hecklers, and then the mint, right? So
Mint is
there's-
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
the Mint's
those are
incredible.
two-
The hecklers are unreal.
yeah, like, and the mint, even like hecklers is great, but you have to get to a certain point to be there, whereas
Yeah.
the mint is available to absolutely everybody.
Right.
And so it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty cush. So
And also
my-
all the OK Dope
Yeah.
shows too.
Oh, I
They're
know.
incredible.
I know, yeah, and he's
Even
he's,
the
Spoiled
little,
little
like even
bitch.
like the little breweries, like Il Sauvage. I have so much fun there.
Yeah.
no, it's a great show, but
It's a great
I
show.
won't do it, Elliot.
Your stools are bullshit.
Your stools suck.
All of these people in Victoria, they're making incredible opportunities for Dylan.
Yeah, and I'm just over here
F
being like,
you.
I want to fucking do it. Fuck you, rat boy. This is what it is. I was focusing on the decor, and that is superficial. What it is these shows that happen typically are at breweries represent something to me where I am like, I can't feel this bad for $50 anymore.
Yeah.
So
Right.
other people, yes, you're doing and I am doing what I love. I love doing it, but it's only when I'm on stage. Afterwards, I'm a wreck. Before I'm a wreck. I'm not really a fun time to be around anyway. So I kind of
I
just.
thought you said erect.
Oh. Well, it depends on the set.
Before I'm erect.
I'm not gonna do that for
afterwards, I'm
$50
erect.
anymore.
Soft.
Limp.
Spilled. Yeah, so I kind of like because I have a goal.
We just will not let you finish this story.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because I have
Sorry.
a goal, it's easier. It's easier
Yeah.
to say no to those shows
Right.
because I'm like, I'm not. It used to be like, because people ask, they're like, how often are you getting up? And I used to be so proud to say like 4 or 5 times a week, every single week, like boom, 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 like even if it's including open mics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like, and now I think I maybe do like 5 shows a month, maybe.
So would you not think of those brewery shows as a way to try out your material?
Yeah.
I would if I was. And now, see, you guys have really flipped me around me here, and I'm doing some backpedaling because I would if I didn't have just like an embarrassment of riches of other shows to do it at that pay more and are great, right? Like it's not. Those shows are all
okay.
great. It's just also they're for somebody else now. They're for somebody that is wanting to say yes to everything and is really enjoying it. But I found myself not enjoying. And it's not the brewery show. I love your show, Elliot. It's not the brewery shows. It's just that in my mind, a lot of them have been.
Well, that's a classic trope. The
Yeah,
brewery
yeah,
shows.
of course.
Yeah. And like they're fine. It's just a lot of times it's not about the stools and it's certainly not about the producer. It's about the audience that is typically not a comedy audience.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And they're kind of, oh my gosh, they're just kind of like kings of their little castle.
Yeah.
You're coming into there. This is my little
Make
pub.
us laugh,
Yeah.
little gesture.
Yeah.
Just to be a little devil's advocate,
Yeah.
would you like? Have you ever tried to reframe how you view these audiences? Like, would you not?
Sure.
Could you go into it being like, this is for me to figure out whatever, and or to get these jokes out, whatever practice,
Yes.
rather than about these gremlin audiences.
Well, I'll tell you what. So, I really like to talk. I'm sorry.
But we're
Just feel
on a
like
podcast.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like I've been talking too much, but
That's perfect.
I am going to tell you, so I've never really said this publicly, but there's a very good reason why I have such a hard time with comedy. So after, in 2020, so I was a sales manager for Rogers Wireless for like 10 years, and I worked at the same mall, and I was like first in, last to leave, like golden boy. And then this horrible thing happened, and my store got defrauded for like $60,000 worth of phones. And after like a 6-month like battle, eventually they pinned it. They didn't pin it on me, but the buck stopped with me, and I lost like everything. They fired me, and it was like horrible. And it was so like 2020, year of COVID, that happened a month before COVID hit.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And so that 4-year period after that, was just so awful at trying to like build everything back, and had nothing to do with COVID because I worked the whole time. It wasn't like I wasn't really having the same COVID experience. But what happened was after I got fired, so this time I was doing a lot of cocaine, and I is this okay to talk about on here?
Yeah, of course.
So and I just don't know about like content on.
Oh, no,
online
we're
and
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of cocaine, and I had this dealer that was very, very understanding of me racking up crazy large sums, because I was in sales, and I would come and just like I was making very good money for that. That's why it sucked getting fired too, right? Because I had a lot of clients, and it was this little empire that I had built, right? Anyway, so they would let me rack up these ridiculous bills, right? Like 10 G's at a time sometimes, right?
Whoa.
And so what I did is, but I would always pay them off at the end of the month. Right, and they would always be like, "Yeah, Dylan's fine. It's no problem." They would tell their little minions not to pester me and stuff, and because it was a good deal for them, they would always get paid, right? And then I got fired, and I was hiding my cocaine use from my fiance at the time. This is the horrible thing that I was talking about that I had to come clean about. And so basically,
Do you think you were hiding it well?
No,
Okay.
no, but like basically I racked up a debt but didn't tell him I got fired.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was obviously like, this is quite a while ago now, and I'm not obviously in that place now. But when you're a cokehead, you're nuts. You're a psychopath. You have no, I didn't really make it anyone else's problem. I was always a like solo user, and no one knew I did it.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was obviously a very dark period. But I racked up this bill, and then eventually after a couple weeks, I was just like, yeah, dude, like I can't pay it right now. Like I need time, right? And like that was fine at first, right? But then it started to become not fine. We're planning like a wedding,
Oh my god.
and I have this horrible secret debt, and so that's right around the time I started getting some laughs. that's right around the time I started like shaking some rooms, and I was starting, like, something was happening. I was like, okay, I'm actually like getting good at this, and I started to make a little bit of money. Not a ton, but it was like, it's tax free and it's completely secret money. And so I'm start paying off this drug dealer with comedy. So I said yes to every single show. I performed my little heart out because I needed to get booked again, and I needed this money. And so he started coming to the shows, and he'd be in the audience while I was up there performing, and I'd be like having a panic attack, and like if jokes are bombing, like I'm like, oh my, I'm gonna die. Like, and so
Whoa.
Did he know that you were paying it off with this money?
He took the money after the
Sure.
show. Yeah. And so I'm like, what? Yeah, and so I'm like, just like trying to compartmentalize that. And I was also managing a soup kitchen at this time, which was nuts, right? Because I was dealing with all these people that were going through like horrible addiction.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, meanwhile, I'm strung out at the counter.
Yeah.
So just like ruthless, the worst 40 years of my life. And so anyways, that forced me to be good at comedy. And it forced me to say yes to everything, and it's taken me years to like start to like get away from that. I'm like, dude, you're safe, and the reason why I'm safe is because the day after I paid him back, the last payment was $3,000, paid him back, he died the next day.
No way.
Yeah, he died the next
From
day.
what?
Overdose.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. And I told Dan Duval that story, and he just laughed for like 5 minutes straight. He was like, he's like, you could have waited one more day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so so eventually I got in so deep with all this. I had 2 jobs. I was working, I was like collecting cans in the morning. Like I was doing anything. I was like, I went and built a fence for somebody. I don't know how to build a fence. Like did anything possible for money. Was selling stuff on garage sale, just like boom, like just anything to try and like get myself out of this hole and still have this fucking wedding.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah, because you had to clear the debt and then
Yeah.
Oh, and did she know nothing about this while you were paying it off?
Wow.
So obviously, a terrible thing. I told her with a counselor. I got a counselor, like a mediator, to reveal
that's
this
smart.
in front of.
Oh.
Wow, I need that. Someone who follows
all
me
of your
around.
fights.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
obviously like that, it didn't completely end things she kicked me out, and I was, like just kind of living with friends for a little while. I lived with Nash for a little while.
I remember that.
And I went back and ultimately lived with Nash when we
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
did it. But I definitely obviously that contributed to the to things ending, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, very strange. I've been living alone now for almost a year.
Amazing.
Nice.
And it's definitely been improved with Gary.
Yeah.
Yay.
It so helps to have a little guy.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
It really does.
Yeah, so that's why I started getting laughs, because I had no other choice.
Did you stop using blow after he died?
No.
Oh.
I think like a few months later though.
Oh, okay.
Not like related to that, but
Yeah.
just just you can't do it. It's bad to do.
Well,
It's so bad.
And when
It's
you were
so-
saying you were like crazy on blow, like it quite literally can send you into psychosis.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think of cocaine as they're thinking of like sort of like 1980s, like kind of like businessman types. Not everyone thinks of it that way, but that's kind of like a trope.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually a psychoactive drug, right? It's actually like a hippie thing, not a hippie thing, but it's like hippies used to do it.
Right.
And it's like, so I would like kind of combine it with like weed, and it kind of like sent me sort of somewhere. I wasn't doing it in the way that like I wasn't doing it out, and I never did it like when I drank.
Oh.
Also, yeah, but
You
that's
never did it when you drank.
I only did it sober.
What?
I
And
know.
so,
Wow.
and you
I
were
know.
doing it like just like
Alone.
every day alone kind of thing?
Just alone, yeah.
Wow.
And I would like just kind of go on these like binges with it, and I just for some reason I never really like. I've always drank, but I've never liked drinking. I've always liked drugs,
Right.
and so, but then when I quit doing blow cocaine, I started drinking like way more because I was telling myself, I was like, oh, they weren't related because I would do blow sober.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, so it's fine if I drink. But then I actually became like a really, really bad alcoholic because of that.
Right.
And I always like I would always like turn liquor down before, but then it became like the only thing. And so I kind of just really went in on that. Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
Oh yeah.
It is.
But so were you going to work?
No. I like sometimes I wouldn't have slept or something, but I wasn't doing it at work. No, that would just be no fun.
Yeah.
Or you'd go into work having not slept because of the coke.
Sometimes I wouldn't sleep for days. And the thing when I was doing it with sales, like, dude, I would just be like so hungover and like so doing poorly, but I didn't care, so I would sell really well.
Right.
I didn't care about anything, so I like would have. It was a vicious cycle because it just seemed like I could do it forever because there was never any consequences.
Yeah.
I do well with no sleep. I always have. I do well with no food. I run on something else, and so like I would have really these like really really insane benders that caused me no issue, and I'd come out of them like richer. And so it was such a
How?
Like I would just sell like a motherfucker for a week, and like just if I get into a bad situation, I could just sell harder to get out of it.
Right. What are you selling?
Yeah.
Cell phones.
But how? I thought you meant items in your house.
Same, like on Marketplace.
How do you have any more items left?
No. Oh, I definitely sold all my items for drugs. I have no items. Yeah,
Right.
100%. Like that was years
No
ago. Though,
items.
years ago. I used to sell books for drugs. My dad my dad is a book collector, and he had over the years gave me hundreds of books. And I had a really nice bookshelf. And I don't know how I found out that Russell's Books buys books. This is 15 years ago, right? It was a long time ago. And I sold all my books for drugs.
Russell's books.
Isn't that so tragic? I don't own any books because they were all sold for drugs.
Oh no.
Wow.
And also you can't read. So.
And you can't read. That helps. So you were using in the house with your partner.
Yes. So
Wow.
that,
and she didn't notice.
I mean, I think that when you love somebody a lot and you don't want to see something, it's pretty easy not to.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, it's, I was cheating by lying, right? Like it's cheating the system by lying. So there's no way someone can have like a true like they can't ascertain what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Because you're just lying about everything, right? And it just, that was like definitely the darkest time in my entire life. That period where I was holding that secret while still going to work, while still doing coke, while still doing comedy.
Yeah.
That's so stressful.
That's so
oh
stressful.
my god! While your drug dealer's in the audience looking at you.
Oh my god.
Also, like that. You need to write this as a movie.
Yeah.
That's I'm so glad that you're where you're at today, and like you're healthy.
I'm talking about it on the special.
Yeah. Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to
Nice.
see.
I'm trying to do. So I got into comedy because I watched Mike Birbiglia's special. Thank God for Jokes, and I was like, oh, it can be like that, like kind of sad sometimes. And so I've been working towards that, and that's what this is going to be. I'm going to sandwich at least 5 sad stories into the overall arc of it and see if I can pull it off. We'll see. It's hard to do
Because you did all this on your own, no? Like getting sober and
Wow.
so that's incredible.
It's really incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I shouldn't say I definitely didn't do it alone. I have a counselor.
Right.
And I do believe that, I think AA, NA works for some people, and I think it's really, really good for some people, but I believe the best method is just getting a counselor and going to seeing them weekly.
Totally.
And thankfully, like I saw this, I forgot what reel it was, but I heard this thing about like, if you're going to quit drinking, you better have something really exciting to do. You better have some cool stuff to look forward to. And thank God, I just, for whatever reason, while I was in this psycho state, I cultivated a lot of hobbies that I really enjoy, including comedy. And so it's pretty easy to slide in.
Right.
If I had to all of a sudden be like, I guess I'll try cooking, right? But I already cooked,
Right.
and I already loved that, and I already have these like passions, and so it's been easier to slide in because it doesn't feel like I'm not resenting them at all.
Yeah.
I'm not being like, oh, I don't want to go to the beach, I want to drink. Like, it's like, no, I liked this before, and I can like it now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, whatever gets you sober, counselor, AA, NA.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's Basically, I've never thought that anything could be cool unless we were doing some drugs. Like nothing, like going to the grocery store and going like just anything. Going to the movies, you got to drink, you got to like go play frisbee in the park. Yeah, we're gonna have some tall boys. Like it's just like it's just everything had to have that modifier on it. And so I'm finally like I find boxing cool. I boxed for 10 years, but I didn't like think that I could like like it was always like only cool because then I could like maybe go to the bar and get in a fight or something.
Oh my god!
I'm training.
It's just basically
for bar fights.
Yeah, fights.
Well, yeah,
I hate this bar stool. I'm gonna punch you.
Get better stool.
You and your free pizza.
Oh my god, dude! When I was describing that, like you got to clip that up. That is like the most tone deaf thing. It's like, yeah, maybe they get you a pizza. maybe you get a couple beers, $50. Like,
it's so bad. I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's not about the pay or anything.
No,
it's just about,
we're just razzing,
what it
There's
represents.
context now.
Context.
And then when you told that follow-up, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Never do it again. Actually, you're banned from all the birds.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this up? Yeah. Dylan, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
was a
God.
delight.
And thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I learned
Like,
so much about
genuinely.
you.
Was not the plan.
Yeah.
But here we are.
No, I
Incredible.
appreciate it.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was,
You have a way of talking that's really easy to listen to,
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
and you're just so self-aware and honest. And yeah,
appreciate
that was
that.
a fantastic
It was
episode.
really
fascinating.
I think for us as an experience,
Yeah.
like even if it wasn't recorded, this was just a nice hang.
And honestly,
Time went so fast.
So
Well, I was like,
fast.
oh crap, we need to grab this up.
Yeah.
and
you.
you've inspired me truly. Like I'm
What are you
leaving
gonna
this
do?
with a lot to think about.
She's
I don't know.
gonna start boxing 3 times a day.
I'm gonna go and
open
complain
fire.
about gooseberries in person.
Yeah.
Cook some meat on fires.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me because I wanted to come because I really like your guys' clips and I love like and the podcast in general, but I just really like what you guys do with the clips, and like when I see that I'm just like, oh, that's a podcast, like you're really doing it, you're really doing it. And I'm just like, oh, I just really want to get on there. So yeah, thank you.
That's really sweet.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, you're the best, Dylan.
What's your name of your special again?
From Dylan with Love.
And what's the new one going to be called?
No, that's the new one. Sorry,
that's the new
sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. For the old one, the current one, still very current, is
Very current.
Evil Dylan Williams. And then the new one I'm recording on Valentine's Day, which when this comes out will have already happened.
Yeah.
It's called From Dylan with Love, and I am very excited.
Where can people find you?
Evil Dylan Williams is streaming on Spotify and it's on YouTube. I recommend watching it. It's a good watch.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Dylan Williams Comedy. Thank you. And I live in Victoria, British Columbia,
Canada.
And his house is unlocked.